Hey, all you Robin, everyone loves the Drake podcast, comic book fans here. We're back with our installment of Knightquest, the Crusade. This time we're going to look at Batman 506, which is part of sort of this bigger storyline that started in 505 and then was in 507 and 508. And I did the review of 505, which focused on the abattoir story, and then did Shadow of the Bat 25, because that comes next, because in Batman 506... Batman's got a new costume. Which you find in Batman Shadow of the Bat 25. So that definitely takes place in between. And then 506 kind of connects to 507 and 508, although the Detective Comics issues kind of are in between as well. And we see that because the new costume takes some battle damage in... Right here, 508, when he's driving, you can see it's got like bullet holes and things that take place in Detective. Now, 508 will be part of our big podcast that should be coming up in a couple of days. But 506, the cover's cool. The cover, I love this cover, but the way it's all in shadow, I wonder if Kelly Jones did that on purpose because he didn't know what the new costume would be. Or, I mean, that could have been the old Batman costume. It could have been almost anything. In the way Kelly Jones exaggerates certain anatomical features, even the claws could pass for Bruce's fingers. But not really sure. I was very underwhelmed by the new costume. Here it is. I think it looks great. I just don't think it's that different from the other one that makes me go, holy cow, look at this here. And, you know, the other one changed so quick. So this one's called Malevolent Maniacs. And there's a lot going on in the story. Written by Doug Munch, artists Mike Manley and Joseph Rubenstein. I guess they shared maybe inking duties. And the colorist, as always, Andrea Roy, my hero. She is just amazing with the colors. But kind of all over the place. We have a little bit of a flashback of 505 with the abattoir getting away, and we kind of see Batman's new helmet, which I kind of like. Then this part gets a little confusing because it kind of introduces some new characters, and we've got this guy behind bars, Henry, who is, I guess, some kind of mobster, but he is family to abattoir. So he's afraid that his cousin is going to get killed, or his nephew, I think I should say. But not that he cares about his nephew getting killed by the abattoir. He's worried because he's set up some kind of trust fund in his name. I can't even remember his name, actually. It's in here somewhere. I read this a couple days ago. So anyway, so he puts out a contract to kill Abattoir before Abattoir kills his nephew, so that way the trust fund stays protected for when he gets out of prison. Then we see a shadowy figure here looking for some work, and we find out that his name is Ballistic, and he's trying to do some work that maybe the police can't do or won't do, and he's a Republican, which I guess means he's violent. I wonder how Chuck Dixon responded to that. Then we've got, it's just like every 2 pages something different. And then we've got what they call the Three Stooges from Hell on the last little blurb for the coming attractions, and they're basically just a complete Three Stooges ripoff. But a punk rock band with some weird looks. He's got a interesting tattoo and hair and odd cod piece there, a la Watchmen. Wonder if that'll come back in the new Rebirth. And, you know, I kind of like Three Stooges, I guess, when I was a kid. The jokes and the slapstick, I don't think really translates to comics and, you know, the static image. So this just didn't work for me. And we don't see these guys, I don't think, ever again. And, you know, I was thinking about why does Knightquest not get the love that Rebirth does, and why wasn't it not as well received, and why maybe there's some slapstick, why Jean-Paul wasn't as loved. And, you know, it's easy to say, oh, Jean-Paul Valley, people didn't like him, but I think, you know, maybe a big part of why Knightquest and Jean-Paul didn't work as well is the villains. We never really see the A-list villains aside from the Joker story that we got, and even that Joker story was fairly mediocre in terms of Joker stories. Nightfall, I mean, remember that cover, like I think it's 491 or something, where like every villain is escaping Arkham, and you're going to get every villain, and there's just villain after villain, and Riddler and Joker, and Bane is introduced. And here you got like the Three Stooges and Abattoir, and I can't even remember some of them. We had the one Joker story, and that's about it. The rest of the villains in Knightquest are very, very mediocre. They're not even B-list. They're C or D-list villains. And I don't know if that was because we were in the age, this came out in 94, where creators were trying to push their own creations for monetary reasons, or if, they didn't want to use all the heavy hitters with Jean-Paul, or not really sure, but yeah, kind of falls short. This got me excited. This was so cool when this came out. We had the new Batman, the new Superman, the new Green Lantern, and even Aquaman. He was at one point missing a hand and stuff. This was Time and Tide is really good. So anyway, here we get back to Ballistic. He was from those annuals, the Bloodline annuals, I think it's called, or Blood something. They never really caught on too well, but he's kind of living underground. Like I said, every couple of pages, something different. A little flashback to his annual. I believe he was created by Doug Munch, which is probably why he's in the book. And then he gets the contract to kill the Abattoir. Then Batman. This is always, I think, kind of lame when, his investigation work involves just smashing into a bar and threatening people, a la Rorschach, Watchmen, so he Rorschachs these people and kind of gets nothing. Then we got even more going on in the story with Gordon and the commissioner, and no, he is the commissioner, Gordon and the mayor, and the mayor's like endorsing Batman, and commission doesn't like it. Then we get some more fighting, trying to get some information. It's kind of cool artwork. I kind of like that, like how Asbats uses the helmet as a weapon, but as he says, after doing all this, he says, wasted episode, can't find Abattoir's accomplice. Then we got even more. Then we got Commissioner Gordon doubting Batman. Then we got a flash, I don't want to say flash back, but flash present. I mean, what do you call it when you flash to something in the present? Not a flash forward, not a flash back, but a flash lateral to Knightquest, The Search, and Bruce and Alfred. Then we've got, hey, look, it's back, the Rocket, another appearance of the Rocket, just for 1.5 panels, I guess, and just him coming back. And then we find out the Three Stooges, I believe, are also having a contract for Abattoir. By this time, there's so much going on, and it's just so uninteresting that I'm not even really sure or even care. And then we get our boy, Tim Drake. Yay, there's an appearance of the Redbird, and Tim Drake is just basically in here to say, what's going on with Jean-Paul, and, that he needs some rest to get through school tomorrow, and it's too bad Batman doesn't need Robin. And here I guess we get a flash parallel, because it says he's got enough on his hands with the Clue Master and the Speed Boys, which is what's going on in Robin. So if you love that, check out our podcasts. And then we got Asbats comes back down, does some investigation work. No more rocket car, goes in the Batmobile. More Three Stooges slapstick. Then they enter a warehouse where Batman has realized it, and now he's got like rocket launchers on his arms or something. Like, what the heck? And then there's Batman shoots his way in, unlike the Three Stooges, who what did the Three Stooges do? He like picked the lock with a paperclip. So they get in with a paperclip, and Batman gets in with 2 rocket launchers. Talk about overkill. And then we got this little like fight scene. Batman uses his light, which is kind of cool. And then now we've got a showdown between the Three Stooges, Ballistic, who, oh my gosh, does that scream 90s comics or what? And Batman, and it screams bad 90s comics. I mean, that, if you show me that picture, I think that was Image, then Marvel, then Valiant. It's sad that DC was doing this to compete, but maybe there's some Ballistic fans out there. And so next issue, we find out more about Mr. Ballistic, and you can see the cover there has got Mr. Ballistic right there. I don't know if he goes by Mr. Ballistic, but it's created by Munch and Manley, which is probably why he's in the book. They're pushing their own creation. So that's Batman 507, which I actually like the art in that a lot, because the art is actually done by Jim Balent, who was doing Catwoman at the time, and You can see like right here, look how better Ballistic looks there by Jim Balent. But anyway, that's Batman 506, Knightquest to Crusade. If you like this, let me know. Talk to you later. Bye.